Everything is going extremely well.
And now,
Come back down.
showtime.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show today. Good to see you. We are going to dive into the single best ad you can be running on Meta after Andromeda. We're going to deep dive into it. I'm going to also give you a sneak peek into the brand new course that we're dropping in Disruptor Academy on Monday, perhaps sooner. If you're a VIP member, you're going to get access to it by the end of today, breaking down the Andromeda 1, which is the new version of the One campaign built exclusively for Andromeda. And we have a YouTube video dropping next week, probably Monday or Tuesday, where we're actually going to break down a high-level view of it all. Plus, we'll get to all of your comments, all of your questions. We'll load out everything that you all have had to say throughout the whole week. And I didn't do a reaction video this week, so if there are any videos on YouTube from anybody that's teaching Facebook ads that you would like me to do a video to react to, please let me know. We've done a couple for Matt Schreiber. We've done a couple for Constantinos. We've done a couple for Sam Piliero. They did a Chase Chappelle. I would love to know if there are other folks that you're watching, other videos that you're interested in, some things that sounded great that you would like to potentially have views on, or some things that like really sounded fishy, or some shit where you're just like, this is absolute nonsense. Somebody's got to talk about it. Let me know. Let's have some fun. But that all being said, let's break this down. The single best ad in Andromeda and how this format actually fits into everything we've built so far, everything we've talked about right now. Up to this point, we've referenced 322 flexible ads multiple times along the way, right? So this isn't something new. This is us slowing down and looking closely at one of the most important tools inside the system that hopefully you've already built. Because across brands, clients, and students, I'm helping manage well over $1 million a week on Meta. And the most underused and most misunderstood piece of that entire system is still the 322 Flex ad. Not because people don't know it exists, but because people don't understand what role it's supposed to play. So today we're going to make that very clear. Not as a trick, not as a growth hack, but as infrastructure that supports everything that we've already talked about. This year is going to be your best year ever, and we're building from the foundation, all right? So you've already heard me probably say, and you've heard other people say, that flexible ads replace dynamic creative. Now, inside of your ads manager, it actually shows up at the ad level. Instead of choosing a standard ad format, we select flexible. Now, some of you have said you can't find it, and it's probably because you chose catalog ad at the campaign level. Now, this is where the entire 322 structure lives. At its core, flexible ad is simple. You give Meta multiple inputs, and the system decides how to assemble and deliver them for each individual impression. For a 322 ad, those inputs are intentionally limited. 3 creatives, 2 headlines, and 2 primary texts. Yo, David, nice to see you. And Ahmed, drop where you're coming from, everybody. So it's nothing more than that. Those constraints are not arbitrary. It's structural. First, you add 3 creatives. These should all be of the same format, either 3 videos or 3 images. I would highly recommend that you never mix formats inside one flexible ad. Germany, bonjour. We're not asking the system to decide between video and image. We're not asking it to choose between hooks and messages and structure and all of that other stuff to see what gets lucky where and which order at one time with like 1 to 3 sales and then try to scale everything because you got like, that's just a complete mess. If you want to test formats, that happens in separate flexible ads. Now, next, you add 2 headlines. These should be meaningfully different, not cosmetic rewrites. 2 real frames of value. Then you add 2 primary texts. Again, different angles, different hooks, different reasons to care. Not versions of the same paragraph. And that's it. Now, if you watched our video earlier this week where we broke down the one campaign or the 322 structure, you can see that I did one that was very short and then a very long form. That's great. And the whole ad is just 3 creatives, 2 headlines, 2 primary text. This gives Meta 12 possible combinations to work with. And that is very important. We are not trying to be fair. Spend is a meritocracy. The system will consolidate and concentrate spend behind the combinations that create the best user experience for their users and hopefully the best outcome for you. And that's exactly what we want. So let's talk about why this solves fragmentation. Now, earlier, we've talked about why accounts become unstable, right? And this is one of the biggest reasons. When you launch ads one by one, each ad learns in isolation. Every time somebody tells you to launch 20 ads, it's because they don't give a damn about the legitimacy of the data in the machine. Every post ID has its own data, its own learning, its own history, and there is no shared intelligence. If you launch 20 ads, that's 20 things all cannibalizing each other, holding all of their secrets, and then when you turn them off, you lose everything you invested to gain. When you run multiple ads, one will spike, one starves, one looks good briefly, one steals spend, right? And none of that learning compounds. How many times you launch a new ad and then the other ads that you were running start to look bad, and then the new ad looks bad as soon as you launch something new? Like, that just doesn't work, and it's because you're creating ad fatigue. Now, when a new ad gets spent, it has to ship that from somewhere. Most of the time, that somewhere's ads that were already working, right? People call that ad fatigue. Unless you're adding budget, that's how it works. And that fragments the learning. And a 3-2-2 flexible ad fixes that. Instead of separate buckets, all of the learning flows into one place. Creatives don't learn alone. Headlines don't learn alone. Primary text don't learn alone. They learn together. The machine is able to understand the wins and the losses and make better decisions based on all of that compounding information. So instead of resetting the system, it just gets smarter. That's why flexible ads feel calmer. That's why results last longer. Sam Paliero said that we've seen way less ad fatigue with this. Yeah, because you don't get ad fatigue with this. You're not cannibalizing your compounding value. And when inside of the Andromeda 1, the one campaign structure, this is the entire fuel for everything. Now let's talk about why the numbers matter. We know that creative matters the most, but the goal isn't to overwhelm the machine. The goal is to help it decide quickly. 3 creatives is the sweet spot. With 3, 1 usually separates early. Spend will concentrate. Signals will clarify. Now, if you load 5 or 10 creatives into one ad, the learning slows. Decisions get muddy. And really, the signal weakens. And most people that I see running ad accounts or that teach ad accounts that talk about dozens or hundreds of ads have zero signal strength at all. If you want to test more creatives, don't crowd them into one ad. You create multiple 3-2 flex ads. If you have 6 creatives, that's 2 3-2-2. Now you've created 2 clean learning environments, 2 chances for the concept to work. Because if you're going to do that, by the way, they should be 2 versions of the same concept. So you can try to replace one of your Olympic rings with something that can add value. You're trying to replace the worst asset with something better. So you're just constantly leveling up without adding chaos. This is how you increase opportunity without increasing noise. And the same logic applies to copy. If 2 flexible ads share the same headline and same primary text, if one ad outperforms in one ad and the other primary text outperforms in the other, then you know the copy isn't the real signal. But if the same thing works in both, that's a really strong piece of information for you. Now, let's be very clear about something. Flexible ads are not the finish line. They're the proving ground. Once a 3-2-2 has been running, the most important signal is still spend. Spend is the number 1 KPI. Spend tells you what the system believes in. And when spend concentrates and the campaign gets better because of it, that's real. There is no rush to pull post IDs. You do not need to get winning ads. You need to be good enough to increase your budget. That's it. Interrupting learning is one of the most common mistakes. Instead, we harvest. When something is clearly strong, you go to the business manager inbox. You look for the posts that have real engagement. You click the timestamp, you grab the post ID. Now that's going to reference back to one of your ads inside of your 3-2-2. And then oh, wow, that 3-2-2 that's crushing. There's one thing that's getting 80 or 300 comments. You grab that post ID or the video ID, and you go back into Ads Manager, you create a new ad, you hit a use existing post, and you paste that ID. If it's the video ID, you can drop it in there. It'll reference back to the post. If it's the post ID, awesome, job done. And you place that inside of your control ad set. Now you're validating strength inside of a stable environment. Now that ad, if it holds, awesome, you can scale. And if it doesn't hold, great, nothing breaks. The flexible ad is still running. And if it doesn't hold and it doesn't work inside a control environment, well, the machine's going to move away from it anyway, so you can just turn it off. It's a self-optimizing system. I don't know why people aren't doing it. Why are you working so much harder? They need to. Now, hopefully this feels familiar now. Flexible ads test safely. For harvest, when we harvest, we extract the proof. Our control validates. And to scale, we just increase spend And if we can't increase spend, we don't do anything else. There's no resets. There's no panic. There's no guessing. Just shared learning, feeding a system designed for stability. All you need is to be able to answer the question of, can I increase the budget? You just need to be able to say yes more often than no. And if you can do that by a small amount over and over again, you're going to scale quick. And this isn't about the format. This is about keeping the system clean. 322 Flex ads exist so that learning stays, signal stays clear, and the structure doesn't collapse every time you try something new. And when you understand that, everything we've talked about so far starts working better. And that's what this is all about. So what we need to understand, and what we'll cover more inside of the video if you watch today of this week of the 322 ad, or if you join Disruptor Academy and you watch the Andromeda 1 course, you're going to understand those common mistakes, what can and cannot be tested. You're going to understand what is quietly killing learning before it has a chance to work, and where most people go wrong. And so that you don't have to avoid that stuff, so that you can see more consistent results, launch far fewer ads, spend way less time in the ad account, automate the scaling, and go back to doing the things that actually move the needle, which is not pushing buttons inside the machine. It's building a better business, because a good business is what scales an ad account. An ad account doesn't scale the business. Anyone that says, well, my ads are so good, I was able to scale the business, is fundamentally missing the point. That might be good on the front end, but if you don't have an actual business, if all you're doing is figuring out how to sell products with ads that you can't get people to come back and buy again, you live and die by your ability to trick people into buying once, and that can work. You can scale. You can get big wins doing that, but they're also incredibly temporary. They're incredibly unstable. And the way that most people maintain that is by adding more complexity and more ads and chasing more things and using exclusions and launching just more and more stuff. They work harder and harder and harder. And the value of that additional work degrades the more work that they do. So the better they win, the bigger the thing gets, the more work they have to do. And each additional hour of labor produces less and less value. But what we do here with the 322 ad inside of Andromeda 1, if you set it up right, you do less and less work so that the machine can provide more and more value. And then you can work on building out everything else. And because you're not launching a bunch of ads, because you're not destabilizing the funnel, because you're not focused on day one profitability on the platform according to attribution to see what can take credit at the last mile for handing out a cup of water being the reason that somebody finished the marathon, you can focus on cash flow and growing your business. Everything looks more and more similar. Because instead of launching hundreds of ads, you have a few. And the machine learns how to put them together in the right order so that those same kind of person comes into your store. If you get 10,000 people who all come for the same exact reason, your ability to get them to take the upsell, your ability to get them to buy a second time, your ability to optimize your search and your email to make that person more value goes up exponentially. And when that goes up exponentially, and you get way more sales from other channels and higher AOVs and more repeat customers, you know what that means? That means your allowable cost on the platform of Facebook can get a lot worse. The difference between you needing a 3x ROAS and being able to scale to 0.8 is simply not trying to attract the attention of every possible person, not chasing hot pockets, not trying to find any ad that'll sell anything to anyone. It's using Facebook to amplify a business model that works, and then reducing all of the noise so that you're only focused on the best quality customers. That's why we have disruptor tools to tell you what the best products are. And then you can use 322 ads to find the best way of getting the best products into the right person's hands, so you have the most similar people coming in to buy the best product that's most likely to get them to come back and buy again. And then you just scale the business. The last thing you want to do when that happens is launch more ads. When you do this right, you don't care. Like the amount of times that I have conversations with people in the Meta MBA program and in my consulting business, where I do partnerships with brands, the amount of times that we'll be on a call for an hour and look at the ad account for 5 minutes is the vast majority of the conversations. Because it's like, oh, how are the ads? Well, we increased the budget twice over the last week. Awesome. So no problem. Got it. Let's move on to something more important. If you have 1,000 ads, you don't even know what works. If you have 30 ads, you have no idea what works. And if anybody ever says ROAS as a way of making a point when talking about digital marketing, unless it's to say that ROAS is fucking stupid, understand that person fundamentally does not understand how marketing works. They do not understand attribution, and they do not care about your business. That's it. Do not trust anyone that says, oh, I can improve your ROAS. I'll tell you the number one way to improve your ROAS. You want the 100x ROAS hack? Only show your ads to people who open emails. That's it. Now, that'll get you 100x ROAS. It'll be tough to scale. So then you just do more lead gen to get more people into the emails. Then you work on your email open rate with other things. And look, you can scale the ROAS of the ad account, but you won't make any more money because ROAS isn't cash. It's not profit. ROAS is vanity for performance marketers. If you're stuck trying to make something work, focusing on the ego of a performance marketer that has no impact on your bank account, other than probably net negative, is something you should probably stop doing. And that in mind, that's why we get so many people into Disruptor Academy. And that's why we have so many folks joining the MBA program. By the way, we're launching a new cohort on the 12th. We're accepting people all week long. So if you make it on the 13th or the 14th, that's fine. But we've got a 9-figure brand from Canada. We've got a breastfeeding business, a women's coaching business out of Australia. We've got a journaling business out of the United States. We've got a guy out of Romania pushing like wedding band stuff. We've got 2 lead gen agencies. We've got a SaaS business. Like we're all over the place, because the fun thing is, once you understand how Facebook works, doesn't matter what your business is. Your business is not special. The machine doesn't give a fuck about you. It's a programming language. It's software. Grand Theft Auto doesn't care who you are. It works the same for everybody. Facebook doesn't care who you are. It works the same for everyone. The number one reason that you're struggling right now probably is because you put the performance marketer ego about taking credit for the work of everybody else above the priority of just getting more. If you're focused on margin, ROAS, what you're not focused on is profit. With that being said, there's a whole bunch of people in here. And let's get to some of these questions here. Let's pull up some comments. And yeah, let's have some fun. Okay. First off, let's just do this. We're going to share the screen for right now. We're going to go to here. Boom. Don't forget to join Disruptor Academy. You can jump in for free. We're going to do a little preview of the new course that I'm putting together like right now. It's all recorded. I just got to assemble everything and get it up. And it's probably the greatest work I've ever done. I'm so happy with it. Outside of like inside the academy, it's the best thing. It's the closest thing to the MBA that I've been able to build. And I'm certain we're going to change lives with it, which is awesome. So anyway, Ahmed, hi, bonjour, yo, Germany, good to see you. I can't find dynamic creative in the breakdown to see the data for 322. Go to dynamic creative element in the breakdown, and then from there you'll be able to see it. Hopefully that helps. How many ads can $40 a day handle? Try 322 ads. Odds are 1 or 2 of them won't get much spend, and you'll be able to optimize and grow your business from there. One issue with flexible ads, there's no breakdown in the ad account to see which one performs better. One issue with thinking that you need to understand which one works better is that you're still focused on finding a winning ad. I don't care. Market startupper. I don't care about finding the winning ad. You don't care about which one performs better. You don't. I know you think you do, because you've been taught by performance marketers who sell ROAS and creative services that the goal is to find winning ads so you can be more and more dependent on them. No, that doesn't matter. If the flexible ad earning spend in your campaign allows you to increase the budget, you just increase the budget. When the law of diminishing returns comes in there and ultimately the 4PI is stable and you just don't feel like you can do anything better while you then work on email and search and CRO because you've scaled up the volume of people that are coming and the singularity and uniformity of those people, go into your inbox, find the ads, find the posts that are getting a ton of engagement within that 322 and just elevate that to your control environment and see if that additional isolated piece moves the needle. If it does, awesome. That means you can continue to increase the spend. And if it doesn't, okay, you probably found something that's good, but not good enough to do more. And at that point, it's probably time to start looking into making some other ads or solving some other problems. But as soon as you potentially improve your conversion rate from a 1.6 to 1.8, immediately your CPA on the platform gets better and you can scale the budget. If you scale the budget by 20% but haven't touched your search volume, well, you start to add money to search. Boom, you get more money, you can scale the budget. If you improve anything in the business, maybe you just wait for some of those people to buy again. Maybe you have to wait for 2 or 3 weeks for some of the folks that bought a month ago to come back. And then you get more revenue. And your blended CPA drops. Even if your AOV stays the same, your GPT goes up, and then you can scale the business. That's what this is all about. We are not in the business of producing winning ads that fatigue and go away. We're in the business of building an account so stable that we can work on everything that has way bigger impact. One ad that might get, let's say, $100 out of a $300 or $1,000 daily spend on Meta out of a, say, $1,500 daily spend across all platforms is such a small piece of how you make money. But if you can lift the AOV from 50 to 53, that's a 6% increase on all transactions. That's infinitely more important than that the ad getting $100 a day to get to 200. Stop trying to move mountains by worrying about the pebbles. You want something so stable you can move mountains. That's what it's all about. Otherwise, you're never going to get from 7 to 8, and you'll never get to a 9-figure business. Can meta ads work for landing a first client as a freelancer? I don't think so. I think that's relationships. Do you have a video on how you test your first batch of ads in a fresh ad account? Yes, absolutely. That is in Disruptor Academy. We have this course here, Creative Testing on Meta after Andromeda. This entire course is exactly that. What changed in Andromeda? How to find your best customer to create the biggest impact and understand what your hero offer should be. Explaining how to leverage the scientific method in Facebook. Understanding the 4PI analysis so you can see and understand what the machine is doing with your ads. Understanding creative strategy by type, by funnel, by format to solve the problems that you have. This is a playbook to fixing problems. Then we get into market research, the 5-step process that I use to understand how to build a reconnaissance engine so I can understand what my customers are, what my ideal customers are, what my competitors' customers look like, so that I can then build customer profiles and I can write ad copy for them. I'm going to give you all the tools for all of that so you don't have to do any of the work. Then we quite literally build the one campaign live for Disruptor tools. And then I show you how to build creative with AI with a whole bunch of help. Yeah, we have that. It's all right there. Okay, so yes. Still waiting for flexible ads to be available in lead campaigns. I hear you. Right now, just use dynamic creative. The one campaign structure is money, bro. Thanks, dude. I wanted to test by adding new campaign to see if my results will hinder others. Legit 3 days being on my other ads got worse in results. Yeah, there you go. By the way, dude, I think we've been chatting back and forth on Instagram. We email, whatever, like, let's get you in the NBA, dude. Like, I know you were talking about it. Let's make it happen. I'm gonna message you. I'm gonna do it right now on Instagram on my phone. Okay, right now. I think we were messaging in the academy and on email and everywhere else. I'm gonna hit you up right now. That's my personal. Hold on. Here we go. Over here. There you are. All right. Yo, let's chat. Boom! Exclamation point. DM sent. Okay. Do you recommend running bid cap and cost cap? Is there any place for it in your ad account? Sure, with 5 or 10% of your budget. Or if you're trying to just scale in the 2 months a year where it's a cheat code, which is basically the month leading up to Black Friday and then sometime in late spring. We want to launch a new service, but as per your suggestion, there should be a different conversion event. But in that lead gen, you cannot optimize for a specific event. Yes, well, I'll book a call for next week with you now. Yes, let's do it. Okay, please. Yeah, let's do it, man. And if you do that, I'll actually reply back and see if you want to chat this weekend, dude. Let's get you in. All right. And your deep thing, you are in the academy. If you don't mind sharing this in the academy so we can just have a full thread and include all the coaches like Nadeem and Jared and Donnie, including me and Jess, just to like blow this whole thing out because this is so valuable. And I want to make sure that everyone gets a chance to see the answer to this question, okay? But it's more in depth than I could probably get to here. I want to give you written advice, but honestly, like let's chat. Okay, so instead of having different individual ads, we group them together with the 322. Yes. Are the 12 ads in a 322? Yes. Hi, Reed. Good luck on the thing, man. I appreciate your DM and the academy and the self-awareness to be like, I'm just not there yet. I love that. Stay here, binge this. Let's get you there. You can stay in the academy on the free side. Like, we're going to get there, Reed. I promise. Okay. We're going to get there. Hi. Bonjour. Okay. Meta has a sales funnel feature for lead gen in which you can order the conversion events, lead booking sale. I'm not sure how we do it. Don't worry about it. And I also have a course after the Andromeda 1 course comes out. We're going to be building a lead gen course. So we'll get to that as well. You are the VIP of the comment section and the lives, man. I got to say, I appreciate it. Okay. Yes, I face it. I'm stuck, but I want to learn how. Join Disruptor Academy. It's free, right? Just Google Disruptor Academy, whatever. I got to get my Google ads up. We're waiting for the Googles. I'm actually going to do a live workshop in Disruptor Academy, setting up the Google ads for Disruptor Academy so that we can introduce the new Google coach that we're bringing on board and literally just use it with the use case. This is how I spend my money to grow my business to get help. Like, that's all you got to do. Just share the story. Would love a detailed walkthrough someday on how to calculate and determine your most critical business metrics. For example, dude, you don't need that. You do need that, but that's the Meta Blueprint. Bro, unit economics. The unit economics blueprint. That's this. Yeah. And we've got worksheets, documents, everything to help make it work for you, okay? It's all right there. David. Join Disruptor Academy. It's all right there for you. I promise. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Hello from Brazil. Bonjour, Brazil. Hope things are well down there. It's probably nice and warm. I'm freezing. Can you also one campaign per business objective? Doesn't mean optimizing event or campaign objective. What this means is for one campaign per business objective, what that means is that the definition of success for that campaign is shared amongst all the elements of that campaign. So there's one sticky note KPI. We're trying to get some action to occur at some number we can write on a sticky note. And if it's above that number or below that number, we can add budget. And every decision is basically get it above that number or get it below that number. That's it. If you cannot have that level of clarity, you cannot get to the results that you want. All right. If you have a business that has two different brands, separate pixel, run them in ads in the same. I'm okay with running them in the same account, but I'd probably separate them. It's just that's workflow management. There's no added value of having them in a separate campaign or separate ad account, but I like toggling back between accounts so I can compartmentalize my brain. I'm the kind of guy that doesn't have 1,000 tabs on a browser. I've got browsers for different tasks. That's how your brain processes things. Charlie, if you determine that testimonials are driving most performance, how do you structure your account? 322 ads. Broad. Done. Flexible ads except carousel? Yes. Carousel is an option. I think carousel ads are great. If we're going to be doing call book for Monday. Yeah, dude, let's go. Okay. What do you think about carousel ads? I think carousel ads are great. I think they are wildly misused by most people. And I think that if you're going to go the route of carousel ads, I probably just want to use catalog, but it's a good question and something where I think if you can give me a more in-depth use case, I can give you a more in-depth answer. Thanks, boss. You're welcome. I'd like to set up a campaign to optimize for video views. Why? And then put a frequency cap of 1 per day. Okay. And only hit like last 14 engaged. Sure. Go for it, Kenny. If what you're trying to do is become a local celebrity, I have a local business and I want to make sure everybody in my market sees it, that's a great path. How can I have dynamic creative? I find only flexible ads. If you have flexible ads, don't worry about dynamic creative. They're basically the same thing. Flexible ads is essentially just dynamic creative at the ad level to overcome the issue of dynamic creative forcing you to have one ad per ad set, which I still prefer, but is a limitation. And inside the Andromeda 1, we talk about low budget campaigns, consolidation campaigns, and full scale and how those things are different. I'll book a call with you next week right now. I booked a call for Monday. Yes. Bro, by the way, if you want to chat this weekend, just drop it and be like, dude, I'm free Saturday or Sunday. Fucking let's go. Either way, I will see you soon, dude. I'm so excited. Fantastic. I know you're going to be perfect on this. Thanks, Charlie. You gave me some simple advice and it worked. Fantastic. That's what it's all about. One more question. What ads should I use in Flexible? Should I use one format and change the hooks in the videos? Yes. One format. Watch the video from this week, and we'll probably have a ton of comments on it here soon when we go to the community tab inside of YouTube. And I dropped a video this week, so stick around. I'll show you that video here in just a minute. It's blowing up, but it answers all of these questions in detail. If you want more in the Academy, the Andromeda 1 course, we'll give it to you. All right, I launched 50 ads per week. Oh my God. But how do I scale the ones that work? I'm paid only per lead. I'm not the business owner. Number one thing is stop launching 50 ads per week. All you're doing is just cannibalizing everything else that you have. You have nothing sustainable. You are optimizing to be the last touch, which I get when you're paid per lead because you're just basically trying to steal credit from other people that are also doing leads. But yeah, bro, down there, it's free. Jump in. If you do it, how about this? All right. If you jump into Disruptor Academy and just be like, dude, my membership request is pending. Okay. I'll hit refresh. I'll open up the memberships and I will approve you on the spot. Okay. And we will get you the answers to these questions right away. All right. Let's see. Do you run similar ad set for your high ticket? Yes. What are the test ads and scale ads in different ad sets within the same campaign? Yes. I do this exact same thing, Cameron. If it's running $50 a day, I do the same thing for my wife's Pilates business when she lets me run ads. I do the same thing for my business where I've got some deals are 5 figures. I do the same thing for video game companies. I do the same thing for, mobile app video game companies. I do the same thing for people running software companies. I do the same thing for, let me put it this way, Cameron. I'm going to throw out an example of Excel, and if it doesn't land, my apologies. Do you use pivot tables sometimes, but sometimes you do the work manually because it's a daycare versus a bakery? No. It's a tool. You don't use a hammer differently because you're trying to fix a door rather than a bench. It's a fucking tool. It's a hammer and a nail. You do the job. Sweet. Absolutely. Call book for Monday. Yes. Whenever I do one campaign, my e-commerce, it gets amazing results and then dies after day 3. Okay. So here's the thing. Let it ride. You are very likely to get great ad performance right away because the machine is throwing all the ads at the bottom of the funnel. Then it moves the ads up the funnel, and that will be a struggle. And if you can't afford that struggle, work on the business before you run ads. Hard truth. You gave so much simple advice and it really worked. Oh, you're welcome. Again, I'm glad. How can I get the best ad? Don't. I don't have the element dynamic creative breakdown to see the data for the combination. How can I determine which one to send to the control ad? Go to your inbox. Look at the comment section. What's getting a bunch of stuff? And for those who are like, yeah, but the one that's getting conversion versus the one that gets comments. Look, if it's the one driving the majority of the spend, the one that's driving the majority of the results, it's also the one getting the vast majority of the comments and engagements. If one ad is getting 80% of your spend, it's not getting 2% of the engagements. Okay? Thank you, boss. You're welcome. And same thing to you. If you join the Academy or request to join the Academy, I will approve you live on the spot during this call. Just be like, look, I requested, can you get me in? I will do it right now. Can I use the strategy for multiple ads for local business? Yes. Struggling to scale, it's getting a bit frustrating. I'm losing motivation. Join the Academy. It's free. We will solve that for you. One ad at 70 is getting fire sales. Same ad at 100 gets broken. CPA is high. The number of orders is low. What's the point then? It sounds to me like you need a more well-rounded structure. And I would look into the 4PI to understand what's going on. And I would love to help you out with more, but it's hard to get all the details we need in the comment section on a live YouTube. Charlie, do you think it's a good idea to have 2 campaigns advertising 2 kind of similar products? If the definition of success is different, go for it. I don't mind expanding and then contracting. Like, their accounts are accordions, man. I'm totally fine with that. I'm dealing with a business right now, in my consulting side of what I do, where I, by the way, if people are interested in that, I have a plan where I do weekly and bi-weekly calls. It's a flat fee. And then we work on a performance side that's either a percentage of spend or net revenue or something like that. And then we do short-term contracts. And that's it. And if you're interested, I've got 2 more spots available before I just fill up and just say, hey, I'm done taking more. But I do have a brand that's doing this right now. I'm trying to figure out what the best supplement product is for their business. And then we went to Disruptor Tools and we found, every one of them is like $50-$60. But this other one that's $98 has a 57% repeat purchase rate. All the ones that are $50 have a 30% second purchase rate. We started to run Golden Bear, which is something I teach in the MBA program, into 322 ads, into scaling just that product. And immediately the GPT went from -$17 to $37 in 4 days. We're scaling that. That's it. Mark builds brands, run 50 to 100 ads a day. Why is he wrong and you right? Because if you run 50 ads a day, you have no idea if any are any good. You can't know the impact of a variable if you give it a data set of 1 day. If it gets a data set of 100 sales, maybe that's enough. But there's no way at 50 to 100 ads a day, even at $1 million a day budget, for you to have any understanding of how all those ads work together. Now, I dropped a video explaining the math here, but simply put, if you have 50 ads, the machine has to figure out the right way of showing all of those ads to people, because it's not about the ad, it's about the journey through all of the ads. If you have 5 ads, there's 125 different ways that journey could exist. If you have 50 ads, that's greater than the number of grains of sand in the universe. It is inconceivable. If you try to say, how many ways can I shuffle a 52-card deck? And you ask it in ChatGPT, it takes like a minute to print the number on the screen because there's so many commas. If you cannot know the value of your work, then the work you're doing has no value. There's the Academy right there. Okay, I'm letting everybody know in 2 minutes we're going to the comment section on YouTube. I've been trying to answer them more during the week because we keep running out. Student discount, let me know. Let's see what we can do. DM, ask to join, DM Jess and I will see if it's a good fit for you. At $100 a day, it's impossible to get a call with you. For that, I have to get to 100,000 a day. You don't have to get to 100,000 a day to get a call with me. Join Disruptor Academy, and if you join on the premium side of stuff, we'll be able to at least have a call. Absolutely. Thank you, sir. You're welcome. I'm in Disruptor Academy. In a few days, I may become a premium VIP member. Which course should I watch? If you join the premium and VIP, my number one thing would be check out the creative testing for Andromeda. And then when we drop the new course, which I'm building right now. So first start here, creative testing on Andromeda. And then we're going to dive into the Andromeda 1, which is like what a real winner looks like, the Andromeda scaling method, the proper introduction to 322, all of this stuff. Like, this is the, yeah. Watch this one and then that one. This one will probably be up by the end of the day if I get enough time and the baby naps long enough and all that fun stuff. All right. That's what I would do. And join the VIP so that we can also do the video relays where if you're in the VIP, you can send me like a 5-minute Loom video twice a month. And there's a form you can fill out and I'll just respond back to you and give you like a flash audit. How to make one ad, flexible ads. Okay. Sorry, guys. I said I'm going to how to set up and verify tracking. Guys, these are all great questions, but I have to get to the comment section here. I love you guys. Please join the Academy, ask the questions. I will respond to every single question in the Academy, and Academy members know that. But right now, we got to get to the comment section on YouTube because that's what it's all about. Okay? Over here. Share this tab instead. Let's get to it. All right, we're going to fly through this stuff. I never remember to respect this the way I should. All right, this is the video, by the way. Copy this new meta ad strategy. You'll blow up your business. This is the 322 ad tutorial. So go ahead and check this thing out. All right, thank you, Charlie. You're the best. Well, thank you, Pamela. I appreciate that. You rock, too. I saw his video first talking about Sam Piliero's video on the 3M method, the M3 method, which, by the way, we spent a couple $100,000 testing. And we're going to launch a video soon breaking down why it's good, why it lasts for 2-3 months, then why it tanks, and why if you avoid using it, you'd be in a better space in 3 months. Anyway, and he's basically saying the benefit is making it more complicated. For anyone who hasn't tried the one campaign yet, this guy, Jordy, hasn't touched his ad setter campaign for his business in about a year, and he's doing Still running strong, stronger than month 2. Love it. Fantastic. Hi, I don't have a flexible ads. It's probably because you're choosing catalog ad at the campaign level. Hi, I don't get it clearly. Am I supposed to run a couple of ad sets, or should this be a 1-3-3? I would probably never have more than 3 ad sets. There is an exception to that rule. I do break that down inside of the course. Everyone's saying that is you running a CBO with 1 ad set and giving budget for 1 ad. I mean, I don't think you should have just 1 ad set. I think a lot of people say that is what I say because they haven't actually watched me say anything. I mean, I've been holding this sticky note up to the camera for 5 years, the campaign architecture, and it shows 3 ad sets in it. So, whatever. I launched the campaign around 12 noon. It was approved by 2, but then the ads were turned on around 10. Yeah, don't even worry about it. Time of day and all that stuff, don't even worry about it. In a week, you won't even remember. I have a fashion brand with different items, so it'll be 3-2-2, 1 CBO ad set per item, or 1 CBO with multiple ad sets. I have the same question. I cannot find a flexible function in my Facebook ads. Okay, so first off, if you cannot find the flexible, it's because you've chosen catalog at the campaign level. I'm dealing with this with people left, right, and center. That's totally fine. Just build a new campaign, uncheck the catalog, and start building from there. And if you have a fashion brand with different items, my number 1 recommendation will be starting with catalog ads and then going into disruptor tools to understand what your best hero offer should be, and then starting to promote that. And I'm going to do a whole video around how I've taken this women's clothing business from $400 a day to over $3,000 a day in the last 45 days by using disruptor tools and the 1 campaign, the Andromeda 1 method. And like we're going to be at $4,000 this time next week. You can make a video talking about the best practices in targeting when starting out. Broad retargeting, broad, done. Optimize to the event that you want. Don't optimize to add to cards. Don't optimize to view contents. Optimize to purchase. If you can't get a purchase, then fix the business before you run ads. Hey, Professor, I'm running ads from an outdoor fishing company. Awesome. I'm running 1 campaign. Cool. Each ad has different pain points. Okay, I have a $50 budget. Is this a good start? I think this is a good start. What you are doing in this is asking the question, which of these pain points is best for me? From here, what I would probably do is make a 3-2-2 around each one of these ideas. And then when I go to my comment section, my inbox, and I start to see that some of these start to pick up, I would launch that as my next ad. I might be okay with launching 2 versions. I build 2 3-2-2s for each one of these hooks. And then whichever one begins to dominate spend, launch the 2 3-2-2s where I've gone, instead of wide, I've gone deep. Scale what works. Problem solved. Love it. 15 years clean and sober. Congratulations, man. Thank you for sharing your story. Flexible ads is CBO or ABO. CBO all the time. There's like 1 legit reason to use ABO, and it's not for you. What is on the sticky note? 1 ad set. It's 1 asset. It's 1 ad set of the proven ads, and then an ad set of the 3-2-2. Yeah, people keep asking that question. Hey, Charlie, by the way, if you want to know that again, join the Academy. The Andromeda 1 course is dropping in like 72 hours or less. If you're VIP, you'll get access to it probably by the end of the day, and it breaks all of this stuff down. Hey, Charlie, we serve mostly real estate agents here in PH, and the campaigns really work well in this market. Mostly get stuck at messenger lead form campaigns only. Whenever we try to build out campaign funnels, we get 0 leads, 2 leads every day. Here's the thing. If we figure out that this is what works, okay, this is still a great method. Absolutely. We need the 1 campaign. I don't know that we need 1. Like I would follow the Andromeda 1 structure. There's no budget too small to follow it. I would also potentially begin to look into brand development efforts. Again, stuff we covered in the Academy. I can't get to it here because I've got 15 minutes and we're only on 2 days ago. What happens if we got just pay your bill, you'll be back. But let me in the school. I think, Nelson, you probably should be in. How do I know which of the 3-2-2 ads is working? Doesn't matter. I guess I should have watched the entire video. Yes, because in the video, we do give the breakdown. Great content. You're welcome, Garage App Social. It's funny. He asked the question while watching the video. I said, finish the video, and then he did. Oh, there's the answer. Watch the whole video, people. It's 17 minutes long. You can afford it. Put it on 2x speed. If you're crazy, go for it. Hey, Charlie, hope you're fine. Long story. I have a leather handbag company out of Argentina 4 years ago, but 2 months ago did a full rebrand, name included. Now I'm only running brand development. Got it. Okay. Stage 1 of this campaign. I feel like you asked this inside of the Academy. Maybe I'm wrong. This looks very, very similar. Stage 1 campaign, added similar lookalike. Don't use the lookalike. Fear is is that I leave it wide. There'll be interactions. I don't want Facebook to mark as signals for the conversion campaign. If it's broad and people want to buy it, then awesome. That's all that we need. Do you recommend using 1% lookalike at 30 days for stage one? Broad retargeting, even better. Would you recommend a sales campaign? Oh, if this is for engagement stuff, brand building, that's okay. When do you recommend running a sales campaign? When you drive enough sales that you can afford to invest, and make sure that you can afford to lose every single penny you spend on your ads. And that way, all the money that you spend on your ads is good for you. Make a good business, then scale it up. Finally, in the sales campaign, I'm not sure about which my audience. I would use broad retargeting. This sounds good. And uncheck the box as a suggestion so that it uses this. And then from there, you can check that box. It makes a lookalike of that audience, and then go full broad. There you go. David Klein, first, one ad. One ad set per flexible. It depends. Also, we've got a video coming out next week for that in the course. Great as ever. Thank you. I don't have the option to choose flexible. I created a new sales campaign, and now I do have the flexible. Awesome. I don't have flexible ads either. Running a lead. If you're running a lead, you probably don't have flexible, but you can use dynamic creative. I don't have the option to choose. I think that's the same thing. If I have a small budget, $20 a day. Haley, also to add, is it normal to see high CPMs at first with this method? Yes, it is normal to see high CPMs at first with this method. Yes, they will come down, and especially I would try at least 2 ad sets here. And Haley, join the Academy. Again, free. Right there, jump into it. We will get you to where you want to go. If you have a small budget, $20 a day, let's get you to $100 a day. You can do it. Your inspiration. Thank you. I'm trying to join, but my request has been pending for a few days. Okay, Nelson, I hope you're okay now. How do you feel about product ads? I think you mean catalog ads. Taking the majority of the spend. Okay. Is there a bummer when you create a bunch of new creative concepts and the product ads are taking all the spend? Don't run catalog ads alongside your 322s. Those are separate business objectives. Those are separate campaigns. Thank you. Do recommend catalog ads to flex? No. Okay. Funny how those work. Bro, what the fuck? I'm going to get work at a marketing agency compared to you. I don't even know if I'm going to listen to them. Yeah, I mean, I would learn from everybody. I got jobs at a ton of agencies. I was the smartest guy in the room, and I got trained by the smartest people in the room over and over again. The only reason I got really good is because I got fired from everywhere, and everyone gave me all their secrets, and I did that for the better part of a decade. Then I started building 8- and 9-figure businesses. I try to have a CBO campaign in my test. I have a 322. Awesome. How do I find which one? It's not about finding the results. Okay, I understand your answer, but you say flexible ads should be created in the testing ad sets and then moving to the winner. On the platform, when I see an ad with good metrics, I'll move to the learning ad set. How do I know which combination gives the best results? Do you understand my question? Yes, I do. Go to this video. The opening of this video literally walks through the entire step-by-step process for how to harvest your unicorns. Why do you and Jeremy Haynes have such opposing videos? I don't know. Give me the video that Jeremy Haynes does. My opinion is probably because Jeremy and I have different business objectives. Let's see this real quick. Let's see if I can find a Jeremy Haynes video and have a better idea of what you're talking about. Jeremy Haynes YouTube. Boom. Advertised selling to rich people. Okay. Oh, okay. This guy. Got it. I didn't know who he was actually. Okay. So the best ad. Okay. You know what? I might have to do a reaction video to this. I might have to do that. I'm going to go ahead and just hit this. Awesome. Cool, Jeremy. I'm going to do a reaction video to that one because why not? I love that. Let's you give advice, you give suggestions, you make requests. I'm here to deliver. I am your humble servant, Jared. All right, waiting. I think you're in. Awesome. Hey, Charlie, I'm so glad to see the 322 method can be used after the Andromeda update. Love it. I think we already got back to this one. Thanks for your reply. I understand it depends on what question, what answer. What I find difficult is deciding which question I want to answer first. That's absolutely an issue. So that's why in the creative testing in Andromeda, that's why in this course, the creative testing on Meta after Andromeda course that we have in the Academy, this one right here. When we start building it out, we do the market research and copywriting. We actually talk about how to build a wide net to understand what you can do well and what you can't do well, to understand which questions you should be answering with all of the rest of your testing. We literally do it step by step in this. And then in Andromeda 1, we assume that you've done this and then tell you what the next 3 steps are. Like if you just come in to watch this, get from 20 a day to 100, and then with the Andromeda 1, get from 100 to 500 or 1,000, then, I mean, your next move is join the MBA program. We'll get that 1,000 to 2,500 or more. Like, it's all just it's mechanics. It's math. I promise you'd be shocked at how just straightforward all of the stuff is. But anyway, let's keep going. Choosing the best ad based on the number of comments doesn't make sense. Okay, I completely agree, but that rule only works with high budgets. Doesn't work with low budgets. Don't be so clever. It hurt my feelings a bit. Well, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings a little bit. Don't be clever. Just scale the account. Okay, got it. Yeah. If your comment volume isn't big enough to pick the ad out, then it sounds like you're not doing well enough to increase the spend to understand what a good ad looks like and trying to be more complex. And, well, we need to be better. And that's what the Andromeda 1 course is all about, how to get to that place where you can begin to isolate post IDs and everything else. How does this relate to Andromeda's claim that full funnels can be in a single campaign? It's proof that it does. Great stuff, but how do I see which of those 322 as I tell you guys in the course? I'm always like, I get asked this question constantly, every single day. I think we've asked this question 6 times in the last, we're on 4 days ago, and this question's been asked half a dozen times easy. 21-year-old student from India, bonjour. I don't know anything about media buying. It's absolutely possible for you to learn and get a job in 26, especially remote doing this. Absolutely. Good video. Thank you. How do you know which creative is the winner? Check the link. Do you do a marketing campaign? Sure. How is flexible different? By the way, I do have a video on retargeting campaigns, remarketing campaigns coming out soon. I think it's next week. Or 2 weeks from now. Next week is the one campaign. 2 weeks from now is the remarketing. 3 weeks from now is the case study. How's flexible ads regular from this DCO? You can do that too. It's just an inferior ad product. I think I said the same thing there. Cool. You try to have 2 questions. Am I doing this strategy in ABO or CBO? ABO. Do the ads need to be fundamentally different or they should be slightly different? I would make them nearly identical until you understand what you want to do differently. Do the 322 ads go in the same ad set to start off with? Yes. That video is coming out on Monday. Hopefully, maybe Sunday. If I finish it early, it just drops on Sunday. By the way, I've abandoned my new video comes out on Mondays and Wednesdays. It's just like when I'm done, it's up. A lot of you seem to like the Sunday videos, so whatever. There we go. How does this fit into one campaign? Can it be the new campaign? This is how we run the one campaign. By the way, this is now called Andromeda 1. And because I'm clever, or I want to be clever, it's actually called Andromeda 1. It's Andromeda 1. Anyway, there you go. Yeah, I have a little bit of fun every now and again. I really don't need anyone else, but maybe Dara. I would love to get Dara into the program to teach some stuff. Is that a quad shot half calf on your shirt? It is. Such a good video. You're welcome. Thanks, Charlie, for the content. I'm confused in the audience building strategy. Do you recommend 322 or promote IG content in the CBO? I recommend the 322, although I'm okay with some IG content. It really depends on the audience. Depends on your goal. And yeah, that's a great question for the Disruptor Academy. When you have multiple creatives in flexible ad, there's a risk that Meta puts it into carousel. Yes, it happens. And no, it doesn't happen at any meaningful spend level. So don't worry about it. I love your videos. I have a question related to Shopify stores. Just check my Shopify store from the Wave accessibility tracker for ADA compliance. Make it ADA compliant. Otherwise, some folks will come after you and see you. Do I need to worry about ADA compliance? You should. If your conversion rate tanks because you make it available ADA, then odds are you got bigger problems. How many all-star winning ads? 5 to 8 is pretty good. Oh, there you go, Evan, crushing it. Where do you harvest the winners? Yep, that video is coming next. Also, that's what the entire Andromeda 1, well, there's a whole section in Andromeda 1 course. I think we touch on it like 3 times in the course on exactly how to do that. And I talked about it in the very intro of this video. My mom loved Pepsi. Flat coat. Deep cut from the Who the Fuck is Charlie T video. So with Andromeda, I was under the impression that you could have almost 10 creatives. I mean, you can, but I'd rather have better results. Do you want to feel smart or do you want to have more money? There you go. 722 with flexible ads. I mean, you can, but again, it's just, you're going to get more data for a lower confidence insight. Less data and more. It's just messy. Don't even worry about it. Thanks for Professor. Your reaction videos are awesome. Do you feed AOV back? Purchase conversion value? Yeah, Constantinos, who I haven't seen if I've made it into his videos lately. For like a month, he just constantly talked about me in his videos. He's like, well, some guys, say the one campaign worked, but then they only show it for a few days. And then they say, well, he stopped because it was toxic. Like, bro, you're proving my point. You're toxic as shit. And then I stopped because people like you couldn't help folks. You just kept talking smack about me without doing anything. And to be fair, Konstantinos has tried to run the one campaign and it hasn't worked for him because he's done it wrong. And because he's focused on ROAS, not money. And then Konstantinos also has this whole theory that Facebook decides how many sales you can get, and there's certain periods there's only certain periods of the year where you can get any bigger than that. Like there's this whole victim mentality performance marketer shit that just pisses me off. But we're here to make sure that you never need to pay attention to silly people like that ever again. Making small changes doesn't make that much sense anymore. I think it depends. Guaranteed PPC. I'm totally fine making small changes. Am I trying to go wide or am I trying to go deep? If I'm going wide to figure out where I want to go fishing and then I get a win, I am going to do small changes when I go deep to understand what the best version of it is. Absolutely. I agree with Charlie this time. Look, if it's only this time, at least we got one, Joseph. I appreciate it. Yeah, Sam said the one campaign is stupid. I've run it Sam's way. I've run it my way. One is a lot better. And it's not the way that we abandoned 7 years ago. It's not M3. None of my ads partnership statics have a frequency over 1.1. All right, well, it sounds like you're really good at filling the top of the funnel. Maybe you make some static images off of those partnership videos that you've got and throw some branding on it and see if that brings down your frequency on those additional ads you can run in relationship to the other ones. And then you got a full funnel. Awesome. Boy, this is gold, just the intro and the timestamps. I'm so glad that you like the intros and the timestamps. I've been really trying to do it. I was beating my head, like trying to get these videos to have a thumbnail and all sort of stuff. Like, fuck that. I just post it up. When it's done uploading, I download the thing. I throw it into Loom, or actually my process is I download the video. I upload it into Descript. I get then just the chapters. I throw it up in there and call it a day. And then I just make sure that we open with a great lesson. And then the rest of it is just showing you all support and love. Hey, Charlie, my membership is still pending. I hope you're fixed now. Currently are in the one broad, spending 230 days, 5 active ad sets, so 4 to 6. Oh, okay. We pulled this up on the live. Okay, we are now at the spot where we pulled them up on the live previously. Fantastic. All right, we are going to get back to the classroom here. Just a sneak peek again, real quick, into the Andromeda 1. We have the advanced Andromeda method. We have the proper introduction to the 322, some of the stuff we talked about earlier today. We have the testing guidelines for the 322, how to read the results and how to scale. That's just the end of it. This is the last 1/3. I started at the end to make sure that everything kind of lined up at the beginning. That's the way I build courses. I start with the conclusion and then I build up from there to make sure that we address everything and nobody's left like hanging. Like, well, you said you were going to cover this thing. No, we're covering it all. Membership requests, by the way, it looks like we've got some folks in here. There's some people where I said, hey, if you join in the academy, if you mention it, well, we've got some people spending 1,000 a day, 7,000 on ads, 2,500. Man, you guys are killing it out here. Love it, love it, love it. Fantastic, folks. We're going to get you all in. And yes, I'm going to try to talk to you all about getting to the MBA program because it's starting so soon. By the way, this is what that looks like. Here's the classroom. We have the program. Inside the program, we talk about how to measure your results so that you never worry about attribution ever again. Then we get into optimization. The optimization side of things is how to understand how to simplify and focus on PCE, which is profit cost efficiency, not ROAS, but how effectively can you generate a profit. Then we automate all of the work from there. Great still. Need throwing a thumbnail on that one. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's terrible. Okay. Then we get into Golden Bear. Basically, how to align yourself as best business partner for Facebook so that you can get lower CPMs and higher premium inventory and all of the dumb shit that people try to do with cost caps. We actually do what they're trying to do in a more sustainable way that actually makes more money. Then we get into global documentation. We get into what to do with your creative testing and the next steps. We get into the ecosystem doc so you can measure incrementality at a glance. This one also needs a thumbnail. Come on, Charlie, get it together. Financial planning so you can understand what the next 3, 6, 9 months looks like, and you can understand what offers to run at different times, what your goals need to be as they change, and how to ultimately scale your business and understand what best case, worst case, median case, and how to project manage across all of your efforts. Then we get into the actual project management tools for all of your efforts across everything, plus all of the case studies that we have. Then we get into brand dev. Then we get into your 90-day plan. And inside of here, we also have all the group recordings, the bonuses. The MBA bot is opening up, I think, tomorrow. So you'll be able to go in there and basically ask the AI the answers to all of your questions MBA related. We also have the meta blueprint. We have the creative testing and the 1,000 creative ad templates for you all to get into, organized by niche. Say you're a hair product brand. Here is 125 different templates. You click the link, it opens inside of, oh man, I realized I wasn't sharing this at all. Son of a bitch. Okay. Okay. So here's the creative templates that you can get inside of the MBA program, by the way. Like this one, say it's a software company you've got. These are all software company creative templates. You click the link, it opens up inside of Canva. You can just change out the images and the text and the videos. Half of these ads have spent like $1 million, right? Like these are ads that crush. Clothing brands, supplement brands, brands that you've heard of. I've got their ads in here. Here's Kachava's ads, right? Like we've got Obvi's ads in here, right? Like we've got all sorts of fun stuff in here. And here's the classroom again. Here's the program. All of the stuff we were talking about just broken down. And now what we are adding, by the way, to the MBA program is a deep dive section for all of these. So these help you be executional and operational. However you want expertise level at all of these, I've written out a whole series of ebooks, and we're having a dedicated course that's structured more like what we do with like the Andromeda 1 course. All of that stuff for each one of the sections here. So this is going to be I'm just constantly trying to add more and more value to it. And if you join, you get the 12 weeks of the cohort. We have a call every week. And 6 months into the MBA mastermind group, where we have a call every week. So if you join now, you'll get 12 weeks of at least 2 calls with me every week, plus multiple one-on-ones that are included. So you get like 50 hours with me to join. If you're interested in the MBA program, I would love to have you here. By the way, if you're in the academy and you want to upgrade, it's $147 for the premium, $1,100 for the VIP, and the Loom audits. I'm so excited about what this is doing for people. So we're going to leave this up on the screen. We're going to try to get through any of the last comments here that we can. Okay. How to use one campaign with the e-commerce business for all 4 seasons. Cover it inside of the ad account. Inside of the Andromeda 1 course. How do I categorize angles for lead gen using 1K budget? Launch them in different ads. Each flex ad potentially might be a different angle, and then understand what you can do well and what you can't. For Andromeda, yeah, same thing. I was thinking about using carousel ad like a mini landing page. We can absolutely do that if you want to. That's fine. Where you're basically telling a story. I don't hate it. You could do that. So the 322 ads be for products with different prices. I wouldn't do that. No. Charlie, please refresh comments. Okay, I think. Okay. We're launching 3 BOFO flex ads. Should that be in the same ad set or different? I mean, it depends on your budget. I'm going to go ahead and tell you to launch them all in the same. Odds are, if you're asking this question, put them all in the same. What do you think about running one campaign with the 322 and another with the catalog ad? I think that's a really good idea. Reed. Hey, Charlie, taking your 322 advice from my clients, and I've had better results in 2 days than I've had in 2 years. Hell yeah, Jared. I love it. By the way, Jared, are you in the academy? Like, let's have a conversation. I would love to get you in the MBA, just for what it's worth. But we can have that conversation another day. Can you get me into the school if you request, and then just be like, hey, I've asked to join, okay. I am the free version. Awesome, Jared. Let's get you into the premium. Let's get you into the VIP, and I'll just do looms on your accounts for you, dude. Like, come on. Let's get you. Yeah, let's have some wins. Okay, can you give us a brief summary of what Golden Bear, what it is? So really quickly, and I'm going to end on this. Golden Bear allows us to test for each element of an ad, the primary text, the headline, the creative. And it allows us to understand where that element will sit in the funnel. Is it upper funnel? Is it lower funnel? Is it mid funnel? Is it something the machine likes? Is it something the machine doesn't like? And that way, when we build the 322 ad, we're specifically able to surgically solve the problem that we have. So say we have a upper funnel issue. Say our upper funnel ad is just way too upper funnel, and it gets all the spend, the frequency is low, the CPM is low, and the conversion rate is terrible, and it's just like talking about the budget. How do we bring that lower in the funnel? Well, we could try a bunch of different variations of it, of the creative and the copy and the headline. Perhaps the copy, the headline, and the creative are all upper funnel efforts. Well, what if we identify how to get 2 headlines in there that pull it way down in the funnel? We attach that to the higher upper funnel creative, and then it just pulls it down. There's so many different functionalities. But the point is, so many people are launching ads hoping to see just whatever happens. And instead, they're not looking to see how to best leverage the machine to understand how to give it the tools to do the job we're asking. So many people are just throwing toolboxes at a problem, throwing money at the issue, and just taking shots in the dark, guessing what might work. Golden Bear is a scientific method way of understanding exactly how every element in your ad is being used. So when you put 3 to 2s together, you can surgically solve the problem that you've identified with the 4PI instead of your control ads. Think of the one campaign setup that we've done, and then remove the uncertainty of the 3-2-2. That's what Golden Bear does. But it is a complex system. Well, it's not complex. It's actually really fucking simple. But it does take some education. It does take some knowledge. And it takes some support, which is why it's part of the MBA program. But I do it on every single ad account. Okay. Fire. Love it. Do it. Jared, let's go. Like, join the VIP. Send me a loom right now. Like, I will stop the Andromeda 1 campaign to give you the loom if you join the VIP today. Okay? My guarantee to you right now, in stone. Okay. Fluctuations total campaign, 30-40% fluctuations. Okay, that's fine. How do I achieve the stable CPP? Is this common? Yeah, it's common. I don't care about day to day. Tell me about the week. You might see 30-40% fluctuations day to day, but the week has a 3%. Awesome. My brother, I'm seeing that now, again, Meta goes back to 2019, where more value in image than video. Not true. But at the same time, they're giving low CPM and results to AI-generated images. I will say this. It's doing a much better job of showing people content they want to see. Your job is to make sure the content that people want to see is the same one that gives you results that you want to have. It's a simpatico business relationship. All right, everybody. I got to go. I'm building out this course. It's just most of my day today is going to be building out the course and taking care of babies. That's what we're doing here. Okay. All right, everybody. With that being said, thank you so much. And I will see you soon. And let me know if you have any questions. Stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. Hit like. All of that fun stuff. Hype the videos. Apparently, I'm supposed to say that now. And the number one thing you could do to say thank you, by the way, for what it's worth, for free, is share these videos to your social. YouTube loves the share button, apparently. And join the academy. And let's see what we can do to just massively scale your business. I will say that it is not luck. All right? It is not luck. It is systems and process. Most of it is just math and process. And it's really fucking easy once you get something going. If you can't get something going, you shouldn't be running ads. Once you have enough revenue that you can afford to run ads, scaling the business is just, it's a recipe. That being said, everyone, I'll see you later. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.